And now I'm going to introduce Paul Vatistas, a partner and director at Haig Barrett. So hi, Paul. Tell us a bit about yourself and what do you do?
My background is really primarily in business advisory for many, many years around technology. So I started life at McKinsey Management Consultancy, then went to work for several corporations managing their IT businesses. We grew one of those up to 70 million. And
Impressive.
then since then, been doing consulting projects in various different guises, again, primarily around technology, but including with companies like Symantec, VA Software, launching some of their products. And then more recently with Haig, I've known Haig for 30 years, but more recently with Haig, working on some of our client projects in energy, technology again, and pharma and biotech.
Thank you. And what would you say were the key takeaways from today's discussions on AI opportunities and challenges?
I think today's discussion was really good at looking at opportunities, particularly I think between the UK and Armenia. And I'm actually pretty excited about that space. I think one of the big takeaways is there is a real depth of talent in Armenia, and we have to find ways to connect that to the UK tech industry. And similarly, the other way, there are opportunities for people in the UK to really leverage some of the capabilities that are in Armenia to grow their businesses more rapidly.
Mhm.
So I think that whole area of opportunity is kind of my number one takeaway from today.
So, from your perspective, what is the most pressing barrier to AI adoption in businesses today?
I think when we talk to clients, when I talk to businesses, when I go to conferences, I think the biggest barrier is what I would call AI literacy. So a lot of companies know they need to do something with AI. They're keen to do something with AI. They have no idea really how to start implementing it. And part of that has to be training everybody in an enterprise to be what I call AI literate. They need to know don't upload proprietary data onto ChatGPT because you're putting it into the public space, for example. So they need to understand just enough to be able to use the tools, start experimenting with the tools. And so I think that that's the biggest barrier. And then we see huge opportunities, and we definitely provide services to support companies at the leadership level to better understand their AI opportunities, to become more literate, to become more comfortable with it, and to roll those out either through in-person or online training to the wider organization, which will then enable it to adopt AI much more quickly.
Mm-hmm. And is there any way to control what employees can upload to ChatGPT, let's say, and other portals, or there isn't such legislation or regulation at the moment?
Well, this is a real challenge. There is regulation. There's in the UK, in the EU, even in parts of the US, there is regulation. Companies definitely try and set policies where they say don't do this kind of behavior. But the reality is it doesn't really work. If you're a big corporation with 70,000 people and you tell everybody, you mustn't upload something proprietary to ChatGPT, but you're not properly training them to truly understand what that is, or if you blanket say nobody uses these tools, the reality is people are going to use these tools. They have them on their phones. They're going to use them in their work, and they're going to use them anyway. So you kind of have to preempt that. And again, going back to why training is important, you got to preempt that with training so they really understand how to work safely, really, with these tools. And for companies to try and do that by diktat will not work. It doesn't work because people just go off the reservation, and now you have a massive cybersecurity risk.
Absolutely. And what would you say is the safest, in your opinion, tool to use nowadays?
I think generally, I think they're all safe. I'm not a huge fan of the Chinese ones because they're kind of leaky, and you're not really sure who's coming in through these backdoor logins. So I would personally avoid DeepSeek and Ernie, but I think the other ones are all fine.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Paul.
Okay, my pleasure.
Perfect.